So a brand new set has just been announced and it's arriving soon. It's called Paldean Wonders. Let's dive into the cards we know about so far. So we've got the 3 Gen 9 starters, Sprigatito, Fuecoco and Quaxley. Nothing too crazy here at basic stage. What's exciting is what they evolve into, and we already know one of them. So that brings us on to Meowscarada EX. 2 energy for 80 damage with Solar Beam. That's fine, nothing groundbreaking, but it's low energy with some sort of damage output. But Flower Trick is where it gets really interesting. For just 1 energy, you can choose a spot, not a Pokemon, a spot. Either the active one or one of the 3 bench spots. At the end of your opponent's next turn, that spot takes 70 damage. Now that's interesting. You're not targeting a Pokemon directly, so now your opponent has to decide, are they going to retreat? Are they going to switch? What do they do, Do they have to shuffle their board and protect, whoever's in the targeted spot? It makes things really interesting from a tactical perspective. That kind of pressure could create chaos, which is so cool. This could genuinely shift the momentum of a game. So that's a cool one. On to the next one, which is Gholdengo EX. Now this one could be wild. Who knows? We'll see. It's definitely one to try. For each metal energy attached, one of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random, and each time one is chosen, it takes 40 damage. So it's one of those, you're just choosing an opponent at random and dealing a set amount of damage to it. What's cool is the 40 damage, that's going to take out baby Pokemon, so could get you that valuable 1 extra point you need to get the win. So the more energy you stack, the more random spread you create. The obvious thought is pairing this with Dialga EX for the acceleration of energy. But I'm really curious whether this set introduces a new way to ramp metal. This could either be super inconsistent or absolutely devastating, and it's one to look out for. Ceruledge. So this is 3 energy, stage 1, base 70 damage, but it also does 70 more if the opponent's active as a EX. So that's 140 into EX Pokemon, which is a basic EX KO for the most part. So that does make things interesting. It's not flashy, but as a non-EX attacker in a psychic deck that can target EXs, it's definitely one to consider adding into your existing psychic decks. We've got Fighting Basic and Klawf. Basic 100 HP, 70 damage for 2 energy. Nothing meta defining at all, but it's something. It potentially adds something to the fighting side. Potential KO on any sort of basic non-EX. So if fighting ever creeps back into relevance, this could help in some form, or maybe it's just another fighting type that is never going to be used. I guess we'll see. So then we move on to the supporter cards. We've got 3 supporter cards that we're aware of in this new set. The first one is Arven. So this one basically just it's either a Pokemon tool or a random item card from your deck into your hand. So if you get heads, you get an item card. If you get tails, you get a tool. So it definitely could be applications for this. I definitely see it being used, not across the board, but my thinking was, say you have a deck, any sort of stage 2 deck where, getting your basics and your stage 2 lines into your hand plus rare candies is vital. This could accelerate that. I don't actually know with this one. It is interesting. I wonder if you don't have like a tool, or if you don't have an item card in your deck at the time and you get the heads or tails, does it do anything? Does it do nothing? Or does it just give you the other type of card? That would be an interesting dynamic there to look out for. Yeah, so I don't see this becoming a universal staple, but in the right deck it could absolutely shine. Nemona. This one is interesting. Basically, it's for a Pawmot. On the turn you activate this, you're doing an extra 80 damage to opponent's active EX. So we are 100% getting another Pawmot in this set. If that Pawmot already hits hard, we could be looking at some serious EX knockouts. This one's very deck specific, but the ceiling looks potentially high. We'll have to see. And then finally, we've got a stadium card in Mesagoza. So once per turn, each player, so both players, can flip a coin. It's up to them whether they want to or not. If they get heads, they get a random Pokemon from their deck into their hand. A lot of the stadiums are risky in a sense because you're affecting both sides. You're affecting your opponent's side as well as your own. So you could be buffing them or helping them out alongside yourself. But I can see the stadium being used for decks that struggle with draw power, struggle being able to get cards into the hand as quickly as other decks might manage. So I could definitely see it be used on quite a few of those, and making, you know, there's quite a few decks that are just a little bit too inconsistent to be competitive. This could push it over the edge and make it more viable in a more competitive context. Yeah, so those are the kind of the most interesting cards that we've seen. Some of the basics of the cards were revealed too, but the ones that I've just mentioned are the standouts for now. If this is the beginning, Paldean Wonders could be a really interesting set. Nothing major meta defining, but we're going to get at least a few interesting decks that we can really try out and enjoy. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, what are you most excited about with this new set? And I'll see you in the next one.